What's up? It's your boy Malcolm,
It's your boy Liam.
It's Morgan,
and we are
the Black View.
Y'all, we have made it to week 13 of school. It's about to be Thanksgiving. Y'all, I'm ready to eat and be with my people and just sleep.
Amen.
What do y'all have planned for Thanksgiving?
Ooh, what do I have planned? Well, I'm doing a Friendsgiving today.
All right, Friendsgiving, which means you in the kitchen.
Yes. Y'all know I have not cooked in so long, and you know I love cooking.
I know.
I love
you
cooking.
throw down.
Yes. So I'm making I got me a pot roast yesterday.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm not gonna lie. If I can, I'm probably gonna fry some chicken. I'll do. I think my roommate's doing turkey wings.
Yes, Lord.
We're doing like yams, macaroni and
that sounds really
cheese,
good.
and greens. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. Come tonight. It's at 7:30. Yeah, I definitely have to do that. So that's my plans. What are your guys' plans?
So I did have a Friendsgiving yesterday, which was like a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a lot of leftovers as well, so I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm like set up food wise for a bit now because of those leftovers. But for the actual break, I'm gonna be going home
To the Bay.
back to the Bay Area, back to Oakland. And like my cousins are gonna be there from both sides of my family. So I'm excited. And I'm just overall excited to just see my family and everything. And my brother, shout out to my brother, is coming today to visit.
Yay!
And then he's gonna be here with me in Los Angeles until we head back to the Bay Area on Wednesday, so we can go back home. But I'm really excited to show him campus and everything.
Liam's a triplet, y'all.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Right.
I was dead gonna ask. I'm like, I don't know why you give twin energy. Are you a twin and you're a triplet?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And it's even crazy that I just remember that you're from the Bay. My sisters are driving up to the Bay this weekend.
Oh.
And I'm like, driving from LA to the Bay? How long is that?
It's around, so if you have like multiple stops, it's probably like a little over 7 hours. But the overall drive is like 5 hours, 30
not
minutes, to, like
bad.
6 hours.
Okay.
It's like New Orleans to Houston.
Mm.
I'm used to 4-hour drives max. Like from Indianapolis to Nashville, Tennessee is 4 hours. Like
How far are you from Chicago? How far are you?
that's like an hour and a half.
Oh.
Thinking you were farther than that from Chicago.
No, Indianapolis and Chicago is right there. An hour and a half is like if you if you drive the way you're like not supposed to drive, like the way I drive.
Yeah.
Like if you actually do what you're supposed to do, it's maybe like 2.5.
But you're like, I'm trying to get to my destination.
Yeah, I need to go there and come back. I'm not trying to take too long in Gary at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what about
the
you,
Jacksons.
Malcolm?
So for Thanksgiving, I'm heading back home, and I wanted
Aw.
to make sure it's been one of those semesters. Because usually the fall, I always tell people this, the fall goes by really, really slow for me usually.
Oh.
Really?
Improve differently.
What?
Yeah, like this.
Oh, I felt like it
spring
was
is always-
quick.
Mine's the opposite.
I do better academically in the spring. Like the fall is just, I don't know, it's like depressing for me. But this one, like God was like, all right, bro, I'm going to show you what I can really do in the fall. This
Oh.
fall was quick. And every time I wake up, I'm like, it's a new week. It was Sunday, then it's Friday, then it's just all of this.
Yeah, because I literally just remember, I'm like, oh, it's like getting to the end. I definitely thought we had a long ways to go. So for me,
Yeah.
that low-key means I need to lock in a little bit more. Because this one class, luckily I looked over the syllabus again and I realized it's mainly like projects that the class is graded on. But I can say like senioritis has really kicked in where I just realized I haven't been to that lecture this entire semester.
Let's hope that they don't have any attendance.
No, they don't. That's the thing.
Okay, that's
I
good.
asked my group members. I was just like, y'all, do we have attendance? They said no. I was like, do we have homework? They're like, no. I'm like, do you feel like we're not doing anything in this class? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay. So we all feel the
You
same
good
thing.
then, right?
Yeah, you're good.
And I feel like with the group work, honestly, I'm going to pass. And then it's a marketing class.
Okay.
So if I just learn like the bare minimum, like, you feel me? Not quotes, but you like the principles of it, and I remember the equations.
And
okay,
then you can execute.
Yeah.
Previously from our last show, the government was still shut down, but y'all, it is reopened and open for business, which means that people are not only back to work fully, but they are getting paid for their work. So the airports are back. Hopefully not as bad. Of course, we know during travel time it is a little more crowded, but yeah, we saw videos in Houston where people were all the way stretched outside in line for 3 hours just to get on a plane. Like it was crazy and insane. But it is going to take a little bit more time for them to actually fully get to what it was like beforehand. We have to open back the Smithsonian museums,
Mhm.
just so much to do. So, how do you feel about the government finally being back open?
I'm very happy that people are going back into the workforce, getting paid again, but I know that caused a little bit of bending backwards from the
Yes.
Democrats to be able to get out of this government shutdown.
And she's not backing down either, y'all. And she's like, I would say bring it on, but bring on the fight. She's like, keep threatening my life or whatever. Like, stop that. But like, I'm still gonna fight for my people. This is not gonna stop me in any way. I'm not resigning. In fact, I could see her running for this governor seat in Texas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that'll be even more powerful in my mind, get her from there, and then she can run for US Senate, and we get her ready for presidency. And actually, let's talk about that. When Michelle Obama was in a recent interview, I believe it was with Tracy
Oh,
Ellis Ross,
yeah.
and people were like, Michelle, are you gonna run? She was like, stop asking me that.
Please.
Cause
Please.
y'all know more than anybody else that y'all are not ready for a woman, no matter if she's white or black, for a woman to be sitting in the highest office in the United States of America.
Nope.
I mean, as a black woman, Morgan, let's talk about that. And Michelle's response to that.
Child. I will say it. I'm gonna break it down for you because we obviously know, yes, it's gonna be hard to get the white vote. Period. As Black people, it's gonna be hard to get the white vote.
Mhm.
But at the same time, with that, there's also just like Black women do not have the backing from their community that they need. And if Kamala Harris was going to be sitting in office right now, she would be sitting in office because she had the backing from the community that she needed. And I say this literally as a Black woman. Like, again, let's go back to my favorite TV show, Scandal. What did Olivia Pope's father say? Like, he literally said Black women in general have to work twice as hard to get half as much. So it's just like, please, like Michelle Obama said, stop asking her for, oh, when are you going to run? When you know dang well you're not going to get the people in your house to vote for her. Like, you're not going to be able to go out on the street and stand 10 toes in front of a white audience and say, this is why she is right. Y'all aren't ready for that. And honestly, like I said last week, it's also because we don't have the grit anymore as a community to do what our ancestors did and get out and stop, well, first funding the problem.
Yeah.
And like we always say this, invest in Black communities, invest in Black owned business. It's not just because, oh yeah, skin folk, kin folk. No, I'm not saying it's literally because if we keep funding these large corporations that run our government, if we keep like literally not investing in who we are, we're never going to be taken seriously. So,
All right. This is a quote from Malcolm X. It's one of my favorite quotes about him. The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. And the most neglected person in America is the Black woman. Now, Malcolm X has been dead for over 60 years. So for him to say that
Mhm.
quote back then and for it to still be relevant now really speaks volumes. And we've had women like Shirley Chisholm and so many others
I swear.
have the foundation and lead us to us thinking that by 2024 or 2025 that we could have a person that looks like us as a Black woman in the White House.
Mhm. Yeah, with this subject matter, it's like the main thing for me is I'm thinking about my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want her to see at least one woman president before she passes away because her mother didn't get to experience that. And it's just like, my mom's getting older now. She's turning 60 next year. And it's just like, it brings me to this question. Will my mom live long enough to be able to see a woman president in office, specifically a Black woman?
And
'Cause-
even to your point, because I am taking a political PR class right now, we call them non-traditional leaders.
Mhm.
So literally, a non-traditional leader is someone who is of minority or a woman. That's what a non-traditional leader is.
Wow.
Really?
So I'm just thinking, so even then in that sense, like you said, our parents are getting older. They've been able to see at least a Black president,
Right.
but will they now be able to will we ever grow up and actually stand 10 toes in what we want from this country and have a non-traditional leader in office? Because we see traditional.
Will we ever see it though?
Will we ever see
Right, that's the
Yeah,
question,
that's also a
right?
big question. We'll be able to
Because
live
even though
longer.
we're in our 20s, are we going to even be able to see this change in the next 50 years?
Because it's like we're in our 20s and we've seen a government shutdown twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Most people didn't even live to see one before. And so it's just like we're seeing all the wrong things. When are we going to put feet to pavement so we make sure we can see the right things before we're no longer here? Because honestly, yes, history repeats itself. It repeats itself because we allow it to.
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to stop allowing things to happen? Stop being reactive, start being proactive.
Let's talk about this outrage. So, the Department of Education and the Trump administration has ruled that nursing, and that's from an RN,
I seen that.
MSN, and even doctor of nurse practitioner, is no longer a professional degree. When, according to this statistic from the American Association of College of Nursing, 80% of RNs are white and Caucasian, and only 6.3% of them are Black or African American. So you only hurting your people when you say that. And I get it. I know a lot of Black female nurses. Shout out to my best friend Maddie, who's actually gonna be getting her BS in the next 2 years. And I'm proud of her.
Congratulations.
And the rest of the Black female nurses that I'm knowing. But look, what about nursing doesn't make it professional? Because you don't want to do it? Like let's dive into that, because I'm just like, statistics don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. My cousin is a nurse. She's my favorite cousin. Me and her are only a few weeks apart. So when I see her, and then even then, my sister, they even put physical therapy on that list, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yes. My sister is a physical therapist. And before I even talk about my cousin, I want to specifically talk about my sister. I don't talk about my sister much, so I'll give her some highlight today. So when I talk to her, especially when I talk to her during the pandemic, my sister was a lot of the time the caring person and the caring willpower that kept her patients alive. Doctors don't really do that. Like, yes, you will find great doctors who will like help you through like whatever you need, but like the nurses are the people who actually tend to the patient. Like if you're not being heard, I feel like that's the nurse's job to make the doctor listen. And even then, I feel like now that's transitioned into doulas because like nurses started, like a lot of nurses are just doing it for the money nowadays. But it's just like, I think about people like my sister, and it's just like, I know what she has gone through to get a title. So for you to say just simply, oh yeah, it's not educational at all. Like it's, yeah, now that's a slap in the face to my sister's degree,
Right.
and the money she spent too.
Right.
Just on that level, but even then, just on like the caring for people and the humanity level, I feel like hospitals are not humane without nurses or
Agreed.
physical therapists or people who have to make those plans and sit down with you and make sure you're doing things, the one who will be your advocate. So
And so this goes along with the big, beautiful bill as well of a Trump like imposing like lifetime caps of like $100,000 in borrowing for graduate loans and $200,000 for professional students. Because the problem goes along with the people who benefit most and who take out those most loans and have them repay back are Black women who are taking advantage of those student loans also. And this is from the president of the American Nursing Association saying that at a time when healthcare in our country faces a historic nurse shortage and rising demands, limiting nurses' access to funding for graduate education threatens the very foundation of patient care. I mean, we even have it on the CDC website where, because of this leader that we have over health, Kennedy, that people actually are putting that vaccines cause autism, which according to many test trials and statistics, that's not true.
Yeah.
But now people are on there and it's on the CDC website, even though it's not a fact.
No.
It's a myth.
And you see, I forget, it's one of the youngest Kennedys that's a politician now. I forget his name, but I just seen him on TikTok or something, and he was talking about Trump, and he literally said I think he said something around the lines of you have one of the worst Kennedys in office right now,
Yeah.
using him as your puppet.
Mm.
Out of every Kennedy you could have picked, you picked that one? I can see okay, who Donald Trump is as a person. Yeah, I see why you picked him, but it's just how did we get we got here simply because y'all said no to a non-traditional leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slap in the face. Oh my goodness. And even then, I've met so many people who actually do believe that do believe, oh yeah, if you get your child vaccinated, they will develop autism to the extent I.
Oh.
Okay, we're
Just a
back
minute.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
just
back.
repeat
Okay.
over exactly what you
Okay.
said.
So going back to the you said people who believe that
Right, and
children
so
get autism from
there's
vaccines.
this person that I know, and they have a daughter, and the beautiful child, they didn't get the child vaccinated because they believed that the vaccinations would lead the child to get autism. I want y'all to guess the ironic part. And I don't even mean to do it like that, so do not cancel me by the way I'm responding. I just want y'all to connect the dots of how ironic that is. Your child still developed autism without the vaccine. So now your child just can't go to school with regular children because schools require the vaccines.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you gonna do now?
Right. What you think about that? Right.
I just think, just overall talking about the whole nursing thing that's going on, it just draws me to question, if we're not going to respect our nurses, then what occupations does this administration even respect?
Right.
Because those are the caregivers of our country. That's a very esteemed position that I know most people really look up to nurses.
Yeah.
And people who are higher up in the medical field like that. My mom, she's a nursing assistant. She's not a registered nurse, but my mom's always in there. So basically what my mom does is she's the person that listens to the nurses, and basically she's one of the main caregivers that is if a patient needs to go to the bathroom, my mom is there to help them. If a patient needs food, my mom is there to help them. And currently they're on strike right now. And that's a whole thing because they're not getting paid enough. And it feels like every year my mom is telling me about another strike that UCSF, which is the medical hospital my mom works at in San Francisco, is always going on strike every year. And it just comes to show that if you can't even pay our health workers enough money, then what about everybody else? Speaking of horrible, wealthy people, we got to bring up and talk about the Jeffrey Epstein file.
Yes. So let's talk about this fight. So first off, Congress during the shutdown, they didn't want to induct the congresswoman from Arizona who was taking off all the space because she knew that she would be the swing vote to get the Epstein files actually, in place to vote. So then it goes to Congress. Not only does it pass, but Trump actually signs the executive order for it to actually happen. And even, let's talk about this. Delegate Representative Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands, where Epstein actually was living at the
I just seen that.
that she was actually texting him during one of the congressional hearings, and she was about to be censored in Congress, but it failed. So it's just there's so much tension on both sides. It's you got Republicans voting with Democrats, Democrats voting with Republicans, and just different things. Even Trump, who I know for certain is in these files, he told the Department of Justice they have less than 30 days to release the files to the public.
Here's the thing. I have a deep feeling in my gut we're not going to get the whole thing. there's
I
going to
think
be
so as
so many
well.
things that's going to be redacted.
I think so too. Even though like in the law, it makes it clear that nothing is supposed to be redacted, like blacked out on like the documents.
Correct.
But
Because it's
I'm gonna
public
be
filings.
honest. I think they're gonna weed their way and hide some information from us. I think some corruption is gonna end up happening, and then we're gonna later find out in 2026. I think 2026 is gonna be even a bigger year in
It's
politics.
the year, right?
Yeah.
We got midterms. We got all that.
And even then, I'm just also thinking like with what you just said with the what was it, a Congress?
Congress delegate.
Yes.
She's
So
like a non-voting member.
right, she was non-voting, and so then I'm like, she was asking him these questions, and I literally had just seen it this morning, and so I read the comments, and people were asking, was Epstein trying to take down Trump or something? The way that he was giving her information for her to ask questions
About
to,
the executive assistant.
yes,
Like that, yeah.
and so I'm like, I don't know who Trump's fixer is, but whoever she is, she's about to get, if this somehow some way like makes it to where Trump is, people can still deny him in these files. Oh my goodness. Someone needs to study her brain. Republican, Democrat or not. That's a fantastic brain.
Yeah.
If you can hide these files that have been anticipated for years, and we deserve these files. And I'm just like, and even then, I just seen a Harvard professor or like dean or something. He, I think it was professor, he steps down in front of his class. He's like, when these files release, I just want to apologize for if you read them and you see anything that I might have said, anything that I might have done, I'm going to take a step back. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're going to start seeing a lot more of that.
Mhm.
And so then he's like, I said a lot of like sexist things and wrong things. And so then I think I'm just like, whoa, so I just feel like a lot of people are going to, start trying to save their butt.
Yeah.
This is about to be like a shock of I can't even say the century because we've had too many
Right.
shocks.
Yeah, we've
of the
had
century.
plenty.
This is given like when Freaknik came out with that documentary.
Yes.
It's given like people doing those little videos on Instagram and TikTok being like, yes, I was at Freaknik in 94. So like if you see me in the videos, I'm sorry, but I was
Literally.
given like come to the front of the congregation before the files actually come out. So when it comes out, you're not like, why is your name in there? You're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like speak now or literally forever hold your peace. Because once people read these names for generations, your name will forever be known for being in these doggone Epstein files.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who's gonna be on the cutting board.
You guys think anyone from USC, like past or president?
I don't know.
Oh,
Between
Because
donors and everything,
we stand for University of Scandal. That's
Listen.
what we stand for.
and University of Spoiled Children.
Yes.
Look, as a future law student, I do look forward to reading these files because I hope to, work in, the legal field and seeing what else might be in there. But also, I do fear we are going to see some things that we are not expecting to see also. So we just have to prepare ourselves for these things. And I do encourage people not to just look at social media and read little snippets. Like Morgan said earlier, educate yourself. Like as soon as
Go
these
read a
files
book.
come out, go read it yourself.
Literally.
Like when Project 2025 came out and they had those 900 pages, y'all don't want to read it. Y'all should have read it.
Y'all should have read them.
Because even though Taraji gave people the warning during the BET Awards, that just wasn't enough for your education. Because when all this stuff started to unfold within the Trump administration within the first year, y'all were like, I didn't know this was going to happen. It was in black and white in Project 2025.
Yeah.
And there was nothing surprising about it. So I do encourage all of you, well, I do believe that TikTok and Instagram can have some type of educational and news base because we are in that non-traditional news era. Please read things for yourself and
Literally.
stop because all this misinformation is happening as well. And I
And
need
that's all that's
everybody,
gonna happen.
right? I need everybody to do their own homework. Oh God, it's just too much. So let's get into the topic of the show, the true topic. We're going to talk about Black women safety. And this is in relationships and this is just in general. So first of all, we want to
Hold on real quick. Before we even dive in,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
want to give a disclaimer to anyone. If you have suffered from domestic violence,
Yes.
abuse, stalking, anything of the
Rape,
sort,
yeah.
yes, anything of that sort, we do want to give you a warning, and we do want to, we do want to tell you we sympathize with you, and
Yes.
we're doing this episode for you so that more of these stories can get out, more journalists can talk about it, so more people can just learn, and these things won't be as normalized in our country anymore.
Correct. So thank you so much for that, Morgan. And so first of all, we want to send our sincerest condolences to Stacey Charles, a 23-year-old woman who was killed in Baton Rouge last week by her 28-year-old boyfriend. And not only did this boyfriend have a long criminal history of having outside warrants from having restraining orders against women, but he literally went to jail for beating up Stacey, got out on a $2,500 bond, had a protective order that he not only broke,
Mm.
he hit her car, rammed into it in an apartment complex parking lot, stabbed her to death, went into traffic, had a head-on collision with another car, and then lit himself on fire. Oh my God, that was a lot, y'all.
Yeah.
That was a lot just now.
That-
That was. I'm glad we did the disclaimer.
Yes,
that
that was a lot. That was intense.
Mhm.
But just knowing that, I mean, you say you 22, this girl was 23. So
Yeah.
just knowing
Oh,
that
that's
this is happening. And also, I want to go into some statistics though as well before we get into our conversation. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, the data shows that more than 4 in 10 Black women experience physical violence from an intimate partner during their lifetime. White women, Latinas, and Asian Pacific Islander women report lower rates. Black women also experience significantly higher rates of psychological abuse, including humiliation, insults, name calling, or coercive control, than do women overall. Sexual violence affects Black women at high rates. More than 20% of Black women are raped during their lifetimes, a higher share among women overall. And the last one, Black women face a particularly high risk of being killed at the hands of a man. In 2015, Violence Policy Center studies found that Black women were 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than their white counterparts, and more than 9 in 10 Black females knew their killers. Let's get into this conversation, y'all, about Black female safety.
So we just talked about Stacey Charles. We're also
Yes.
going to be talking about one of my favorite TikTokers actually was murdered this week
Oh my
by
God.
her boyfriend actually, and they were a transgender woman. They go by Girlalala. We didn't get a chance to learn their new trans name, and I'm not going to refer to them as their dead name because I respect them. Yes, if you know the case, like you've seen the father very distraught, and he goes and says, "Oh, I've lost 2 of my sons," referring to Girlalala. And yes, I understand a lot of families take it in differently, but I met her as Girlalala. I've seen her as Girlalala, and she's a girl. So to me,
Period.
so we're gonna refer to her as that.
Right.
So she was shot on November 14th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She had around 300,000 TikTok followers, and she was a hair influencer. In Florida, the girls love hair, so it's very on brand for a lot of Fort Lauderdale girls. And even there, they do hair differently. Like the same way, like the Midwest, especially Detroit, they have their style. Like Florida, they have their style. And she was really known for it. And also, she was just known for her catchphrases. Like everybody loved her. And she also had a sister who is TikTok famous. And it's her and her daughter, and their name is Tijuana and True. And they're just a really cute, very loving family that a lot of the Black community loves. And so, Girlalala, she had a boyfriend named, I really don't care if I say his name wrong because he can rot in jail.
Mhm.
But I think his name was Shanoid White Jr. And pretty much they had been dating for 3 years on and off. And there were a lot of videos resurfaced of him saying, that, "Oh, I don't date trans women, I just date her." Like, and now that I have dated a trans woman, no straight woman is gonna want to date me. So this person can never get rid of me. Like, they're gonna die before they can get rid of me. That right there, the fact that you put that on film, premeditated. And they, so pretty much Girlalala had just got out of jail, and she didn't want anyone to know where they were for this reason.
Mhm.
Like, she just wanted to just take a step back and just, recenter herself. And also just because they weren't on good terms, she really wanted to stay away from him because there were past instances of domestic violence. And even then, now after this, fans are resurfacing videos of potential signs of domestic violence where they seen bruises on her. And even then, there's videos of Girlalala kind of like fantasizing the fact that this was a domestic violent relationship, you know? And so close friends of the star have came out talking about that day. And pretty much she was at a friend's house. Like I said, just wanted to be away, just got out of jail. And I don't know how I guess they got back in contact because Shanoid picked Girlalala up. And pretty much he got out. There's a video that's resurfacing that's going around of the murder.
Oh my God.
And he gets out of the car, comes around and just shoots her in the head. And then there's videos of him pacing for a few seconds. And then he calls the police and says, "Oh, you need to get here quickly," urging them to get here. Pretty much also how in the last episode we talked about with self-defense, the
Yes.
self-defense law in Florida. A lot of people have
Stand your ground, yeah.
Stand your ground law. A lot of people have tried to use that, and actually it's first degree murder. It's premeditated murder.
Right.
So now he went on TikTok live and on Instagram saying, "Oh, I'm about to get out, like free me, like it was self-defense." And now these videos are resurfacing and they're like, "No, like this is first degree murder."
Right, that's probable cause.
Literally. And so y'all know one of my favorite rappers, JT, was also a friend of Girlalala because she's also from Florida too. And she said, "Rest beautiful, Girlalala. We love you and heaven will never be boring now that you are there. Your boldness, energy, humor, and beauty will be missed. You never missed a chance to show me love, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I'm so sorry this happened to you. We have to stop thinking things are funny because of the way the story is told. I see the content about domestic violence and don't laugh because it's a trans or black woman. We have a way of laughing through our pain because we have been shaped to take things as a joke. Hashtag protect trans women. Hashtag protect black women. Hashtag protect feminism as a whole." And so I'm just thinking about this because, like you said, like Stacy was close to my
Charles,
age.
yeah.
She Girlalala was close to my age, and I look on social media and I now kind of see that there is a trend of domestic abuse in relationships and almost kind of like fantasizing the toxic relationship, the back and forth, the, "Oh, we've been on and off for this amount of years, we're locked in. Oh yeah, like I'll slap him if he do me like this. Oh, I'm gonna beat her." Like I don't play like that. I'm
No.
sorry. I've never been one because it's like I had a dad who was also like, who pretty much instilled in me that you are the prize. So like,
Yeah.
don't let a man treat you like you're not. But also at the same time, like, don't put your hand on no man. I feel like I've never seen the joy or like the joke in the wanting the toxic relationship, the wanting the back and forth, the cat and the mouse, because I've seen real love, and I don't think, yes, love can be complicated, but I don't think love should hurt. And I especially don't think it should hurt in a physical way or even in a verbal way. So it's just like, y'all, the way that these men treat you, I really want you to start seeing the signs ahead of time. It goes into the way that they treat their mother. It goes into the way that they treat their sister. It goes to the way that they act around their male friends and how they talk about women, how they refer to women. It goes to simply, does he understand the concept of chivalry? Does he open a door for you? Because I promise you, and even then, it can also start out that way. It can start real beautiful, y'all.
Right. Opening the doors.
And all of that, but still,
being the confidant.
literally, but it's just like, I want you guys to remember that, like, there's always a resource out there for you if you need a helping hand. Like, I just want us as Black women to, one, of course, like, stop fantasizing this relationship, but also I really want us to, again, get to a point where we're just realizing that, like, we're it and we don't need a man. Like, yes, I also understand to the spending a man's money. Yes, I do. But also at the same time, like, I feel like in that sense, like when you have that relationship with the man where he's constantly like spending money on things, like I feel like in his head he starts to believe that he owns you
Yeah.
and that you owe him something, and you don't own anybody anything.
Correct.
And so it's just like I want us to also get out there and become educated Black women again, get our degrees, go to school. And even then, if school isn't for you, go out and get a profession, get your own money, and just be your own person. And then like just let the love come to you. We don't always have to go out and search for it, because I'm also a person who believes in timing and intentionality and faith and just God making a way. So I really just want us to like, and even then also we're so young to be losing our life, y'all. It's so many Black women out here that are just losing their lives in these abusive relationship, and I feel for them. And even then it's like how we talked about earlier with Jasmine Crockett, like we're already a target like everywhere else in this
Right.
world. Like I just really want Black women to get to a point where they actually like can have true love that doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and specifically trans women are being attacked and very much discriminated against during this time period. And one of the main reasons why is because of the Trump administration's crackdown on trans rights in this country. So overall, this subject matter I think is very important because one, when I was doing research for when we were going to talk about domestic violence or violence in general against Black women, there's not a lot of mainstream articles or resources that speak about this subject matter. And it can be very disconcerting because it's just like so much of the stories about domestic violence or violence against women in general are focused on white women. And that same energy is never given to Black women at all. And when I was doing my research for this, the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence was very much saying that this is a systemic issue also. And I'll just read out this quote because I just think it's very interesting. So the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence said, quote, by intentionally denying Black people access to economic opportunities, the ability to build intergenerational wealth, healthcare, education, and a sense of safety from governmental systems, racist policies increase the prevalence of risk factors for domestic violence. So all these different factors, they economically, healthcare, all that come together, and it's contributing to violence against Black women. And I love that you mentioned like education as well, because it's just like, because we're not giving these resources to Black women, it makes them more vulnerable to being killed or in abusive relationship in these sort of predicaments. And a lot of white women, we already know statistically white women obviously are more economically better off than Black women. We know this already. And they have more of the resources to protect themselves. But Black women don't have those resources. So
Right,
it's
to get away and leave.
Yeah, so it's so frustrating that the media in particular aren't highlighting these sort of stories. And I'm very happy that we're talking about this.
And even then, this goes back to our earlier conversation when we were just talking about like the government shutdown and just taking away like those governmental resources. Like I did a lot of community service back at home with giveaways to like women's shelters.
Yeah.
And then it's like a lot of those people that live in those women's shelters, they have families, so they depend on EBT, they depend on Obamacare, they depend on just government assistance. And so the fact that you're taking it away, and now we're talking about this, I kind of just think like during this time, how many women were like, I'm so stuck, I have to turn back and go back to that abusive man to help my children so my children can eat, because they just don't have the resources. Oh, I didn't get my EBT this month, or I didn't get my WIC this month. I have to ask him for something. And if I ask him for something, I know
There's a cost.
there's a cost. And it's just like to think about that and then just think that there's these people that are up in higher places who really don't even, that thought does not come to mind at all when they put the government on pause or they think about taking these things away. It's scary.
And knowing, and I'll read the statistic before we move on. This was a study done at the San Diego LGBTQ Community Center and at UC San Diego, saying that The findings revealed that Black transgender women accounted for 78% of all transgender women murdered in the United States, with gun violence as the leading cause in southern and Midwestern regions, showing the highest rates of violence linked to structural racism and anti transgender policies.
So, to put that in layman's terms, for anyone who thinks we're just talking college big talk, literally for anyone who thinks we're just blabbing off, flat point, we are saying there is a crisis in this country against Black women in general.
Yes.
Biologically Black women, people who are trans women, people who are queer, like anything.
Right.
People who even just look, who have feminine features, they are at risk of more abuse, of they're at risk of death more because of how this country is. So if you are a man, I want you to sit here and think, because I'm a man, I'm less likely to die. I'm less likely to be abused. Because I am white, I'm less likely to have this happen to me. Because I am of a certain financial status, this is less likely to happen to me. Think about that.
And this is the National Domestic Violence Hotline number, 800-799-7233. It's your boy Malcolm.
It's your boy Liam.
It's Morgan.
And we are
The Black View.